7. And McCarron goes down the field, and it's caught and breathes in for the touchdown.
Two things that like that suck. Depth, tackle, 85 will always good.
Welcome to New Stripe City, a podcast for diehard Bengals fans. I'm your host, Ace Boogie, and today is episode 22, entitled Haterade. And on today's episode, I'm going to definitely touch on the Pats loss. We'll look ahead to the Browns, and then we'll also talk about all of this hate that is pouring into Vontaze Burfict. So, just some quick updates. The podcast is nearly, with all our hosting moving and all of that, we're about 80% complete now. So stay tuned for our new episode that should be launching around Saturday. We'll see how iTunes handles it, but we'll have that launching Saturday. Basically, like I previously explained, the podcast stopped working because the hosting ran out. Google Drive decided to end their hosting. Apparently, I overlooked this, so that was my fault. So technical issues should be pretty much over after this weekend, and I appreciate you guys for being patient. Now let's get into what you guys are all here for. So I had to take some time and digest the game. I was very upset with how the game played out, not only from a penalty standpoint, but also from the way that the team came out and played in the second half. The team was clearly uncoached in this game. So going in, the Bengals played a great first half. They really answered the bell to all of the critics from the week before or the week prior, and they came to play. They started out pretty solid, and it was a clear mismatch in the coaching because after adjustments were made, the Patriots just completely destroyed this team in the second half. So I was very upset about that. The offense is still frustrating. We're hoping now that Tyler Eifert is possibly back that this will add a spark to this offense. He's clearly been missed, so we'll see what Eifert does if he suits up this weekend. Luckily, we play the Browns, but I'm not going to take the Browns for granted. We're coming against a guy like Hugh Jackson, who obviously is a great coach. And in my opinion, I believe not only just looking at it from the offensive standpoint, but from the coaching staff in general, I believe that Hugh Jackson brought a lot to this coaching staff. A lot of people forget that he was the assistant head coach to Marvin Lewis. So some of the things that we're seeing here is some of the lapses from coaching. And I mean, maybe Hugh played more of a bigger role in that. Maybe he ran the offense better, but not only that, but some of the logistics of the coaching staff better as well. We'll never know. But there definitely seems to be something off with the coaching staff. Marvin Lewis called out his coaching staff after the game. The offensive line played horrible. They started letting people get to Andy Dalton pretty fast. Cedric Ogbuye is just looking horrible. Him and Bodon are clearly the weak links. The Bengals made an interesting decision to put in Winston over Jake Fisher, which I couldn't really understand. And, the Bengals just continue to have the same problems that they've been having in previous games so far this season. But that could all turn around. But the biggest story that came out from this game was the play between Vontaze Burfict and at first it was Vontaze Burfict and Martellus Bennett, okay? And in my opinion, there's never going to be a situation where Burfict ever gets the benefit of the doubt, right? People are always going to paint him to be the bad guy. People are always going to say that no matter how it looks, it was a dirty play, just given his track record. So I find it frustrating, and I'll use the Bennett play as an example, when Tom Brady pump fakes and it's clear that a player is reacting to a play and people still call him dirty. Come on. I mean, let's be real now. If you look at the play with Greg Olsen or with Cam where he blatantly like twisted somebody's ankle, then okay, that's fair. That's dirty. But there wasn't a blatant dirty play against Bennett that he made, and he apologized to the guy anyway. But that's what the NFL rules are. You can't go up high anymore, so you can't go anywhere else than going low. And I mean, that's been a problem not only for Vontaze Burfict, but for a lot of guys. I mean, most guys would rather go high and get knocked out or get a concussion than have a knee ligament torn going low. But that's what the NFL wants to do. But they care about player safety. I mean, you don't care about people's ACLs apparently, or MCLs, like Big Ben just found out about. So, to me, it was just a stretch by a lot of people. And then we get into the LeGarrette Blount like leg stomp. So initially when I saw this, I was upset at Tez because Mike Reese, this guy on ESPN, tweets this video with a coach's angle. We've all seen it. That makes it basically look like Vontaze stomped on the guy. But there was another angle that came out that completely like proved that this accusation was false, because from that angle he didn't step on the guy, he stepped over him. So to me, it's just ridiculous how much these people want to smear Vontaze. The fact that a reporter is willing to even go that far and to try to find something against this guy is just ridiculous. I'm tired of the witch hunt. You're not giving out witch hunts on Ndamukong Suh or James Harrison or any of these other guys that are clearly dirty players. So why are you doing it with Burfict? It just makes absolutely no sense. And I mean, to me, like I said before when we touched on Burfict, the Steelers players, or the Steelers team in general, they are the last team to accuse anyone of being dirty. And I will say that again. They are the last team. I mean, it's almost like O.J. Simpson saying, hey, that guy is contemplating murdering somebody. Like, it's O.J. Simpson. Like, come on. But anyways, I just couldn't believe that. Like, you got D'Angelo Williams jumping on Facebook. Like, really, dude? Really? And you play on the same team as James Harrison? Oh, well, I need to ask the fans how they feel. Why don't you ask your teammates? Ask James Harrison. Ask your old teammate Mike Mitchell. Ask your guy that's over there. I think he's a right guard. He likes to eye gouge people. Like, you're talking about a stomp when you got guys on your team like risking blinding people, and you think that that's football? And Vontaze Burfict is a danger to football? I don't know if you've gotten hit too many times in your illustrious long career, but dude, Vontaze Burfict is like the last person that the NFL needs to be worried about, okay? To me, the guy just gets a bad rep. And it was good to see guys on the team like Andrew Whitworth and Marvin Lewis, defend him, because the guy's going to play with the edge, man. I mean, any linebacker in the NFL wants to hit somebody hard. That's what they get paid to do. So when they do it, don't get upset. Now, I don't condone any of the afterplay stuff, but I'm even upset at myself for even falling for the witch hunt of this whole Burfict thing, because honestly, I was upset, and I was like, well, if he's stupid enough to do something like that and risk further suspension, then I'm done defending him. But it's almost unfair. Like, this guy's been in the league for a couple years. You don't hear anything about guys like Terrell Suggs or any of these other guys who have been notoriously known for being dirty players, and the spotlight is just on him, and the media is doing whatever they can to cover the story because they probably got super high ratings after that Bengals game. So they're still trying to push that agenda, and I'm just not with that. Like, when old Steeler players are like doing it, it just looks petty. It's petty, man. Like, we know y'all lost Ben for 4 to 6 weeks, but really, bruh? Really? You're really out here trying to, like, dry snitch on other teams? Come on, man. Like, other teams don't do that to you guys, all right? Even though we could, we're not gonna take ourselves down to that level to do it. So, if you're gonna talk and you're gonna make wild claims, like, have clear evidence and don't manipulate the story. to try to get a guy suspended because you really deep down want the Bengals to be out of contention. Like, that's reaching. That's reaching, especially for D'Angelo Williams. I'm really ashamed of this dude because, before you became a Steeler and everything, which you act like you've been there your whole career, but it's only been 2 years, I would think that you would be more loyal to the Panthers. But you sit around here and act like there weren't dirty players when you play. Like, dude, you've been playing for a long time. You're like 34 or something right now. Like, come on, man. I mean, I respect NFL players and all of that, but when you do petty stuff like that, I just can't respect it. Especially when you played in an era where there were way dirtier players, there was way looser play. Vontaze Burfict plays like how the league was when you came into it. I mean, you're talking about a guy that had multiple injuries. I mean, I can't remember the last time D'Angelo Williams played a fully healthy season. So, I mean, clearly guys were taking shots at your ankles and knees, but you want to sit up here on a pedestal and say that Vontaze Burfict isn't safe for the league? Okay. But you played in the headhunting era. Alright. Okay. So, I mean, I'm just really tired of it. And I'm really not going to address the situation again. I'm tired of addressing it. It's just really petty and stupid. I mean, Vontaze Burfict is going to play with an edge, and he's going to try his hardest to play clean football. But some hits and some ways that you try to tackle people, you can't predict how it's going to happen. Like, you can't predict that. Like, even with the Antonio Brown hit, man, like, you can't predict on whether the guy's going to catch the ball and immediately go down, or if he's going to bust a move and go out for a touchdown. Like, you can't do that. So it's either you make the hit and try to make it clean, but you don't know what's going to happen, or you let a guy score on you for fear that you're going to draw some flag. And I mean, who wants to play like that? I don't. Do you? Like, if you had guys reacting on how they hit guys or trying to change their body every time, you know how many, like, missed plays that there would be for, like, touchdowns on other teams? Like, come on. But anyway, ringing it back in here, Vontaze Burfict, man, you guys just back up off of the guy. You're reaching now. You're really reaching now. And, I mean, we got guys like Gronk talking trash. Like, Gronk was talking to Drake or Patrick. What did he even have to do with the play? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how he's trying to stir something up. Like, come on, man. I mean, the fact that people even really consider the Bengals a dirty team, I'm like, come on, man. Like, who on our team is dirty, bro? Like, really? Like, so Vontaze Burfict, because of his history, that makes our entire team dirty? Really? We don't have multiple players on our team that are dirty players. We have good players. So, and Vontaze Burfict is a good player. I mean, to me, in all honesty, reviewing that film and proving that he hasn't played dirty this year, I mean, I don't have anything to hate on Vontaze about right now. I really don't. And it's like these people try to give him these backhanded comments like, "Oh, he's a great player if he didn't play like how he does sometimes." Like, come on, man. He's a great player, period. To me, he doesn't need to do the dirty plays, honestly. He doesn't need to, because he's one of the top linebackers in the NFL. He's one of the smartest linebackers in the NFL. So put some respect on his name. I'm tired of these people coming for him. I'm tired of it. Like, and then the NFL still fines him for a stomp that didn't happen. Really? Really? A stomp that did not happen. Okay. But that just gives the critics more ammo because it makes it seem like he really stomped the guy. So it's just ridiculous, man. But moving on, we'll talk about this Browns game. So we're matching up against Hugh. Terrell Pryor may or may not play. Hayden may or may not play. I like to think that Terrell Pryor is going to do whatever he can to play, because without him, they have nobody. I'm just going to keep it real. You're talking about guys like Ricardo Lewis, Baby Hawk. I don't think Josh McCown is coming back this week. They've got the rookie quarterback playing again. Their defense is horrible. It's been horrible this entire year. Other than that, I'd probably say that this is a game that the Bengals need to grasp by the horns and take control of. Now, I'm not letting the Bengals off the hook. I was very upset with the Patriots game. All of the contenders that they played this year within the AFC, they haven't played good against them. I mean, you're talking about the Broncos, you're talking about the Steelers, you're talking about the Patriots. They haven't played good against either of these teams. And to me, it just shows the regression from last year to now. I mean, the team last year was clearly better. I'm just going to say it. They were clearly better, and I'm fine with admitting that. But my problem is, and my issue is these are teams that you're going to have to beat in the playoffs, on the way to the playoffs. So the schedule clearly has gotten a lot easier. There's no excuses now. The Bengals now have the easiest remaining schedule out of anybody in the league. So what they have to do is go to work, and it starts here against Cleveland. They need to make sure that they shut down the run. Isaiah Crowell as well as Duke Johnson have been somewhat impressive. I believe that they're averaging a yard per carry over 5, so we definitely have to shut down the run. Ezekiel Elliott gashed us. That's another playoff potential team, Dallas. So we got to take care of our business here, okay? And especially with Big Ben being out for 4 to 6 weeks, we have to do whatever it takes to get this division back under our helm. And you got teams like the Ravens, and I mean, they haven't really went through any injuries, but now that they're starting to play actual teams that are good at football, they're losing. But they're still a threat too, so you can't sleep on them either. But in order for us to make the playoffs this year, I mean, this could be a 9-7 year, guys. But we have to grind it out, and we have to win the North. That's going to be the key to this playoff berth, because when you look around the rest of the AFC, there are a lot of competitive teams. I mean, you just look at the AFC West. They got the Broncos. They got the Chargers, who, I mean, not the Chargers, but, I mean, they're still talented, but they're horrible. I didn't mean to mention them. But you got the Broncos, the Raiders, you got the Chiefs. That's who I really meant to mention. Those are 3 quality teams there. I mean, they're probably going to send at least 2 teams to the AFC playoffs, and there's only 2 wildcard spots, right? Okay, and then we look over at the AFC South, which isn't too good this year, but, you know, it could be anyone from the Titans to the Colts, I mean, to the Jags. I mean, that is just an ugly street fight right now for who can be the best of the worst. So we'll see what happens there. Looking around, we also have, of course, the Bills and the Patriots. Those 2 teams seem like they are playoff bound. I mean, Shady McCoy is just looking crazy. He's like MC hammering out there on other defenses, and that's another team that we play. But Shady McCoy just tweaked his hamstring, so hopefully by the time we have to play them, Shady will not be there. That would be huge, but that's another threat. So these are going to be teams that we're going to have to go up against and prove that we can beat these teams when it matters, or else we will be sitting outside of the playoffs. And I say that not to sound like a pessimistic fan, I'm just being real. I mean, we can't play the way that we have. So hopefully Tyler Eifert will give us the shot of confidence that we need. We need him. I mean, AJ Green needs him. We need to get Tyler Boyd more involved. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and jump on my soapbox and sound like a broken record, but we know what needs to happen. The offense needs to turn it around. The defense needs to hold it up. But more importantly, the coaching staff needs to be consistent, okay? Now, I went on a little bit of a rant with some of my close Bengals buddies about the coaching staff. On the last episode, I backed Marvin, and I'm really getting to the point where I can't back him anymore. If things do not change, I think we do need to get possibly rid of Marvin Lewis. We'll see. We'll see how this season plays out. But for him to not have control on not only his team but of his coaching staff, and to come out with these lackluster performances and such, like, differential from first half to second half, and a lack of planning. I mean, this team is too good to be performing like this. I'm just going to say that. It's too good. It's too good. Okay? And there are players, and I don't know what the culture is around here, but it seems like there are certain players that get to play like crap and not get their car pulled, but other guys that have way more potential than these guys can't even get a snap on the field. I don't get it. Paul Dawson, where is he? Where you don't need Paul Dawson? You don't need Paul Dawson. We don't need Paul Dawson? Okay, you need to throw him out there and give him a chance. I'm sorry. If you're not going to give him a chance, then just cut him. I mean, it's pointless. This guy is on the practice squad when we clearly need his help on defense. Let's talk about Russell Bodine. Why is he still playing? Why? Why is he still in? Makes no sense. Westerman can't get a shot, though. Nobody else can get a shot, though, out of Bodine, who's made bonehead play after bonehead play, mistake after mistake. When are you just going to realize that he might have been a miss in the draft? I'm sorry. You can't hit on all of them, okay? Let's also talk about Cedric Ogbuehi. You threw in Jake Fisher last year, and he played pretty good. Ogbuehi might be a miss right now. I mean, it's kind of early to say that, but, I mean, right now is not the time for his learning curve when you're 2-4. So you need to throw Jake Fisher in there, or you need to throw Winston in there. And why, after you threw Winston in there, the offensive line looks so much better, why are you starting Ogbuehi again? Why? Makes no sense. So certain players get away with crappy play, and other players don't even get a chance. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. And it's time for you to start playing your young players. This isn't a farm system anymore. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. You need to throw guys out there. The way that you guys are playing right now and the way that you guys are running things, it almost makes me seem that think that William Jackson III wouldn't even have gotten a chance to see the field. I mean, this is just ridiculous, man. And then with Darqueze Dennard, you had Josh Shaw clearly outplay him, and then you threw him out there over Josh Shaw again. I mean, Josh Shaw is clearly a good football player. He deserves way more chances than you guys are giving him. So, I say that to say this. If this coaching staff does not get their act together, I wouldn't be surprised to see them get canned at the end of the year. I really wouldn't. And to be honest, if Zampese can't get it done with Tyler Eifert, then they need to look at Bill Lazor or somebody else, okay? Because this is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, it's still Who Day, all day, every day, and especially on Sunday. Make sure y'all leave me some comments, subscribe, stay patient. Like I said, it's coming back. Some of you guys have already found the new link. I'll definitely post it once everything is situated. But like I said, Who Day, all day, every day, and especially on Sunday.